Revolt Media. Revolt Radio. Define yourself. Here holding, here nyansa, here to watch it on a management revolt with Kumasi Nyame. We're live across all social media platforms. We live across all social media platforms. Revolt Media. Across all social media platforms, being Facebook, TikTok, Snap, Twitter, IG, everywhere. Revolt Media. We're live across all social media platforms. We live across all social media platforms. Revolt Media. Across all social media platforms, being Facebook, TikTok, Snap, Twitter, IG, everywhere. Revolt Media. Revolt Radio. Define yourself. We're live across all social media platforms. We live across all social media platforms. Revolt Media. Across all social media platforms, being Facebook, TikTok, Snap, Twitter, IG, everywhere. Revolt Media.
Yes, this is Revolt Radio. We are live on all social media platforms. Bacha oba no I share video no ede amame ye frame me Kumasi Nyame me tenase Saturday morning say ya na munim say oman adwuma ana me de ebremo. Bacha share video no na like page no na subscribe it to our YouTube too. We are live on Revolt Media, live on Facebook and YouTube. Abusuafo besremo mo tenase say ya munim say politics ehun komo na minimu bedi. When it's Saturday morning, iti wo ba obetimi a kire wadwen kire na obekire no so no enye ntokwa kire wadwen professional way enye ntokwa ye nyina onso mani nipa oman adwuma na na ye our little way obetimi a communicate and I obetimi a contribute to our economy and ye nyina yeguso a iti aya adwen kire oba no a kire wadwen na bibia akoso fefe e de amaye nyina no a share video no so e de amaye na bibia I find me tenase say dia na a quick copy adaroma intina me de ete hanom me pa cha ope baby I print na enhwe baabia say quick copy Columbus quick copy de unya ba be drew hanoma customer service touch delivery time so beautiful it's just 2-3 business days na order ni nyina bibia e de amount ope banners open retractable banner, rolling banner, open books, open brochures, open flyers, open postcards, open labels, any about products on open canvas, photo. Open so reclaim now yen can see the ball down one. Nina quick copy, a bear home, Juma, edit amount. Oh yeah, sorry now here envelopes for tight. Oh yeah, P for fans. Oh here envelopes for tighter. Nina no, everybody near baby D and home Juma, edit amount, no be aye, fair. Edi amount to pacha oba no share video no edi amount yo 1900 East Dublin Granville Road 1900 East Dublin Granville Road eho ana yedi edwuma ewo former Aslan University building ni mu no unya bedruwa with me afremo 2204650822 2204650822 na bibia akokama edi amount Believers Attire, a Christian team t-shirt which aims to affirm our beliefs in Christ. It's Believers Attire there. In the economy that we live in America, I say what we use credit. Yes. It's the GD for no. You see you do so the eye bebo. It's Believers Attire and one day. Yes, ready shame me for fear ends when faith begins. You will be to say ASAP, always say a prayer, give it to God and go to sleep. You are capable, amazing, and worthy. Like beautiful, inspirational t-shirts are a sending message, show your identity any other. And no edumani you didn't know Believers Attire. www.believersattire na ekokoje odie ewo hona bibia enko kama. Emfa Emma. Yes. Ene ye kasafa Ghana politics on and Matuadi reading said why NDC lost to NPP and why NPP will lose to NDC. Yes. Why NDC lost to NPP and why NPP will lose to NDC. And on Komona me ne baba bedini ne amanfo bebre ente ase but it will come to pass because history udi agro no want to tell niema yi a history e be repeated ho all the time. So want to tell niema yi a history e be repeated ho all the time. Oh, I see you usukwache, I see you. Maybe I will be am chiao. Share na amanfo so mra enjoying invite amanfo no so enjoying it. Yes. And it be bring a course during the John Mahama, John Mills administration, you know, ewo Ghana. Yenyina yenim, mean to be so 1-1 enchero, but yenyina yenim what happened. President Nagasakwa elected on oya rena ne homfano in Simbibre untimi nye adwuma no the vice ebe twaso after the president passed. Eno ehun Simbibre bisi yemia ne kon bisi oya just Simbibre. Yemfa sa nsem ni nyina antonche. But enema e ma Ghana for bufu ya omo take the sukoko ewo the NDC government no as at that time abanga yakubu mechia we bia obi amechia the tia e ma Ghana for be take the sukoko ewo the NDC government no so at the time no it was because of the economy. The economy ni no unemployment was very very high, and as at now we all know say it's only around 8 to 10% per of university graduates in a free university ba omunya adwuma. And out of them, also, no, government employs 7% of them. Our economy, no, we were going through unemployment crisis. Yes, as at that time, Nana, John Mahama and John Mills ran the economy, no, because of sanctions from IMF, going to the IMF program, no, you know, say unim ekwanya befa so amanage ufia sebi abotisuni babe boawo. And some of the conditionalities and also was to say any say you employ any part because the government, you know, the public purse, you know, there was a lot of pressure on the public purse, and if the government was employing a lot of people, the government cannot pay them, and it's going to be a big problem. Therefore, there was an embargo on employment, and on a year on 2015. Dollar no, and you know, say when the dollar when we live in an economy where almost everything that we need as a society, almost everything that we need for our daily life, including the food we eat, if we are broaching nearby, then it becomes a problem. Yes, so there was a lot of pressure on the dollar. Dollar rises during John Mahama, especially John Mahama time. No, dollar rises cost right. Say no, many more dinner or many more dinner big time. During John Mahama time, no, and an unattractive environment for investment. To say, BB to say doom so it created a big problem for John Mahama government, you know, when our national grid, no, was not working. There was pressure on Akosombo Dam, the Bui Dam, no, was not completed at the time. It just there was a whole lot of problems that the nation was facing, and when investors come to a nation, what they want to make sure say they have electricity to be power and energy to be able to do their daily activities and I said their manufacturing. Whether it's services or manufacturing, no, they need electricity and energy. And the government was not able to provide the energy. There was no energy. And Ghana, so and as of now, I don't even know why it is only electricity of Ghana and Kwana supply Ghana energy. And then you need to be other companies are very competitive to electricity company of Ghana. They said you were MTN, you were Vodafone, you were Tigo, those kind of things. And it's because of that monopoly that ECG holds, you know. You may be you know, say ECG Nkoyi, the whole nation Nkoyi. That was creating a lot of pressure for investors. It's investors like I didn't think me company share on my electricity or to be provided. So there was a lot of companies that were moving from Ghana. A lot of companies. And to imagine government needing to be employing for the people that will be willing to also employ people now. Almost electricity in they can't do production, they can't do services. What's the point of them living in that nation? What's the point of them investing money in that nation? So a lot of these people moved to Rwanda, especially Rwanda. They moved to East Africa. So now let's push our businesses to East Africa. They have stable internet. They have stable electricity. Let's go over there and do our businesses there. Ghana lost a lot during John Mahama time. No? Ghana lost a lot. Yes. Ghana lusu bibri obeyende. And then the cry who was more of the conditionalities now say free IMF buy, you know. Then teachers into your mocha, into your nurses car, so there's no circulation of money in the system. It on mine no sikabia to be a more man. It's what the government at that time was doing. They say any more important near my man, they will tax them higher taxes. That was the government's genius way of free say obiti they are making money. It's more important near mama about man, to start brutal for and our business people are more important near my about man. Yes, near the Yenibra Besuya Momosoti, Modi Ebejamo Pie. That was what the government was doing at the time. And the government was actually heaping a lot of taxes. And businessmen can attest to this. A lot of taxes are not government, and they are to businessmen. So and also omuon kasananka buja business, omunye big companies, but buja business are obitwa say be a sole proprietorship on esa nema no. Sa omuni nyina so no e be a big problem because what can they do? Yes, de adwuma eba oman animu and I say de neema eba oman animu taxes ayeje wo no enye taxes ketwa enti they also relaxed. It is what they are brutally na ebi anko betimi niska kakra ba be economy animu no relaxing because why should I buy a car to sell in Ghana? A car met on $2,000 and me you need $10,000. What's the point? Ghanaians is saying $12,000 and $13,000 or they ba be talk Ghana. Enti all this businesses na Ghana anka emesika circulate Ghana no and also start say kate enti emu ye den honestly emu ye den ma John Mahama administration pa emu ye den hard but well John Mahama said it was a national problem global problem and obit me fix it in 2016 he will fix it. He was working on the Doomso. He was working on the national grid. They were building a lot of Omudi Ameri deal by trying to build a lot of power systems that was going to be able to help grid core to me stabilize energy in Ghana. Yes, or try it, but Ghanaians decided say can't. And you may be so esa ema Ghana for John Mahama who ye Ghana for he nye John Mahama pe the NDC government who ye Ghana for he pa arrogance of power appointees ne do maybe just say when Ghanaians show their sentiments, when Ghanaians talk about what they are feeling they rubbish them to say the ese omunye Ghana for like they don't even ese womo na omuye government appointees omuye overlords over the people. Like when somebody says something to the government, the appointees rubbish them. They have no heart to even listen to what the people have to say. When the people have a genuine concern to even contribute about national development, the way the appointees talk rubbish to the people. Nina ka homa John Mahama government NDC Ghana for pa money. Statements like Ashantis will never appreciate NDC. Ashantis will never vote for in this world, whether we like it or not, there is a stronghold for every party, especially the two major parties, Ubukumbe, there's a specific location. This is how America has it here. There is no way, say California, ever to Obama Republicans. It will never happen. And non say California 4-time Republicans. There is no way. There's no way so Buku Utah Ombe to Obama Democrat. There's no way. It will never happen. Sana. Or maybe at here. Unfortunately, acquire tribe in Intino. Now acquire say the decision is being fueled by a tribe. But if a tribe not turn chain for a minute, they had there. To say voter, there's no way Votarians will decide say the NPP near beto Obama. It's not gonna happen. It's the same thing. When you are a leader, you don't make statements like that. So when the almost share crying your mofe. Oyesa udi ebufu ba system nim. I say born out say tengumu. Oye Saudi ebufu eba system nim. And these are some of the things that John Mahama Ghana for who said, no, this man, we shouldn't give him a second term. And a second chance. Ethiopia attitude. You know, when the president goes to a function, no, you know, when there are time at home, Obi Beka said, na Ethiopia, yes, but oye penini, now her system, no. You see, a bribia ni mu, and yo, a bribia wa dia, Yenka say, oh, your president, don't enjoy yourself. Yenka say, oh, your president, let's say, opesa chile, untimin chile, and I say, Numbia banaya oda, untimin chile. But you have to look at the tension in your nation, the welfare and the security of the people in the nation is your number one priority as the president of Ghana and as the president of the republic. And no, your number one priority. It is a woman money is soon see a penny. That is not the time to go in public and obey some attitude of SME inconsiderate. You know, that in Ethiopia attitude, no. All these kind of things, you know, a shameful, you know, and said here, wow, Moame. Also, I was saying, oh, a sheni pebufu. And these are some of the things that it was going on in John Mahama governance. Na amanfo bebree etena se hu say no the way John Mahama is ye ne yemei or say ebufu say the man ankasa or something against us. And then when it comes to a point when the nation is suffering, obier complaining fuel prices, energy, you need light, you know, there's no money, there's no jobs, kids are home. And crowd will go through the school system and then they become a burden back onto their parents again. After their parents have borrowed money, their parents have taken loans to take these kids to school, and then these kids come back from school and then become a burden on the parents again. And then we have the leader of this nation who is supposed to make sure everything work right, goes around dancing to Ethiopia, especially when the people are complaining. Think about it. Say, Ukraina, we individual, no. Say, be a one, be a problem. Maybe I'll complain to your papa. You're thinking as the father, no, his job is to make sure, say, that problem no will be settled. Na papa no, and then a honor, or say Ethiopia. You think that your father is in accord with Unuyano and Omoyosa. That's what any other person would think. This kind of things, you know, it hurts. It hurts the people, and the people get angry. And when the people get angry now, it will reflect in the elections. Supercars, John Mahama, about that time, the last time you kind 28 vehicles. Only now V8 vehicles. 28. Marco, then Ghanaian sit down and say, then you're my way in Niske. And on my way in Niska, how comes the president and Uncle baby, and yes, say, president say be or come be a cut sword for a project to be 28 vehicles. Like how? Why are we wasting money on things that are not important? Nobody is saying the security of the president is not important. But when it comes to that kind of arrogance, like you are not even. It is said you own your best school fees on. Now sorry, entire auto designer wears and now Gucci and now Barman and now Versace and like. Teacher, nobody teacher for crowd who may money. So you can't even pay for your kids' school fees. Tuition you can't pay, but you come here and then you are exhibiting signs of wealth, but you cannot even pay your kids, and that's how Ghanaians were actually feeling at that time. It's a Ghana for buffo, the way they were behaving. Unnecessary travels. Over there, say a president take off a meeting like he's never in the nation. He's traveling around, and anytime that he's traveling around, it's costing Ghanaians a lot of money. And this news are in the public domain. This is in the public domain every day, and this is what the media is talking about. This is what the people are talking about. People have no electricity, and they have no jobs, they have no running waters, and this is what they hear all the time. How the president traveled to this place, how the president traveled to this place, the convoy of the president jet. When you hear all these things, as a nation, there's nothing you can do as a citizen, but you say, you know what, December 7th, That is enema a share Ghana for ebufu. Na the twa war cry corruption. Obetie yes jida. Yes sada. Ene ya yedizi ya tam sika twitwiri die ye kwes Savannah Acceleration Development project. Boom. Sika ni nyina ase. Ye hu bibia free. And ye bu sika ni din a Jessica 1 million, 2 million view, 100 million, 30 million, 50 million. Like, and these are in dollars. Especially when the nation is under embargo. And all these monies are going into private people's pocket. And there's no sign of punishment. And at the end of the day, people sit down and think about it and say, is the president in cahoots with these people? And I suggest the president Nejuma na Kasana onimye. Until Nejuma say ana, when you're ready for the presidency, ana. That's why a lot of people start sitting down and talking about now president we no one ready ana. Adi never told you kwemu ana. Edi na ekosui. Say president aye wo. Untimin control BBA. That was what Ghanaians were talking about. It's we a Ghanaian now we cry no they follow politics no. Would you imagine? There's a kid that just turned 17 years, 18, or becoming 18 years in that year, in 2016, he's gonna vote or she's gonna vote. Now the bia ne mame kasase, now the papa kasase, all what he hears in the media no, is how the president is traveling around, how doomsday is affecting businesses, how taxes are killing businesses, how like almost everything that you hear about this government was negative. Oh yes, I cry now. Oh, to a bar for your first time. Over to a bar. Fertilizer projects. Fertilizer yes, say they kwakoma ekuyafoa sebe o mitibia cocoa we no near tibia cotton cocoa no and get our foreign exchange no. Ne nipa ba ko afa. Akogu nipa ba ko activity fertilizer good fear for years now say na ekuafo ne te ho no more try fertilizer go be fee. And when you see all this kind of it's a management problem, it's a leadership problem. And when you see all this kind of leadership problem, what do you do as a voter? Wow, to abade na obey. As a citizen, what will you do when you are faced with challenges like this? So obranumu ye din say ya. As a citizen, obey ye den. Why say oto aba obey ye den? Obekoswa to aba ne sa anase obesisa wabatum. Obekoswa to aba ne sa anase obesisa wabatum. You know, there was numerous accusations of embezzlement. And sometimes, you know, most of these accusations, no crowd wasn't even coming from the NPP government. And I said, the opposition, you know, at the time. These accusations were actually coming from the NDC fono. The NDC fono were actually the ones accusing their leadership. Said this man is running the party down. They are running the country down. And if Ghanaians don't get up, the economy is going to be in tatters and we cannot fix it. It was actually coming from the NDC forum. And John Mahama no muchiri na. And I say the man was not actually running the economy right. These were the things that air cost around the time. It fueled the decision for a lot of people to vote against the government at the time in 2016. These are some of the things. Oh, why is it oyo misika, obiaji omen sika, enipana jisika no, sika na awaje no, enikwa ase woje. Eno ane say, ye ji sika back, want to be a sika ma isizini asset nyina ne not to. This kind of leadership it serves as deterrent for the nation to know say, Tale, you cannot just get up and decide say, oh man, ejapade na ode obede, obefifa. You know, this is the situation. You know, like, and you say, oh man, Japan now they open so here they offer. But guess what, though? Guess what? What happened? Nothing happened. The president didn't do anything about it. The leadership didn't do anything about it. Oman sika could the individual be not than an ho. Especially say come womua. A sheni bufuo. Ghanaians become angry. And when the citizen is angry, it shows in the voting patterns. When the citizen is angry, a voting patterns, no, and the best eti na Ghana fo buofu ye kase obi buofu a na ye Ghana fo omu buofu ye ana saade no esi ye ha na appointee bitise Vikihama me $1 million I'm not leaving eti she can even say oanya says kana she's not leaving. She's paid itianeka na allowances ne saka, the salary ne saka. Why does she feel as when yes says kana on like why does she feel the entitled say there should be money bia esa ne saka says can free him for neighbor? When citizens are hearing this kind of conversation from people in power, they get angry. They get so much angry to the point to say leader no eso intensukoko. And I think that's what happened in 2016. I think that's what happened in 2016. It is a share 2016. What happened? Maybe see Ghana history muda for a certain president to lose election at the rate of lose by 1 million vote difference. Most of the time, no Ghana ni election ye toa eko a pie na yakoye runoff. Most of the time. A pioneer runoff. But this election, you know, Ghanaians were so angry to the point to say they had to deal with the John Mahama administration. And that's what happened. But John Mahama kono kansembi. O say posterity. Also on the OGD say oye adwuma. The media no tu NDC no so media ne ni ye. No the posterity and a beje no between or no any adwuma or ye ewo man mu. It's only posterity that will judge us. Because on the OGD say oye adwuma. When it comes to infrastructure sa oye adwuma na adwene mu de oye adwuma pa na presidency no uni bi da on 10 year maybe ase. And the things that the NPP as a party, as opposition at the time, no, was promising, no, they don't know what they were talking about. John Mahama said that. And John Mahama cast had something in every year, and hand it over. Or hand it over the man and Ekufuado. Ghanaians actually thought, see, and leader beer. Say leader way there. Obesisa Ghana economy no because they are catching say Charlie papa we do no nonsense man we any mama kro be jail. In 2008 now he has talked about yemie being one prison near the amount be go jail, you know, so people felt say there's gonna be a leader that's gonna come out utia ho assassin nyina be shiki. This leader utia ho Ghana assassin be shiki na shikia. People will go to jail. We are Ghana no. You be seizing assets, and especially when the president, the then flag bearer for the NPP, Nanado, was telling us how corrupt this government was all the time. On any advice, Dr. Baumia, when they were telling us how corrupt this government was, no, we were all hoping, say, but stamp more authority on corruption. That was what Ghanaians were. It was, or say, the special prosecutor, now special prosecutor, no, or the same powers as the EC boss, no, Obian control, no, on one control, no, that office, no, that's the power that is gonna have. It, you know, on one bit may decide as to who he or she will be going after for corruption. None of when they say, oh, finally we are going to have an independent body any associated with Ghana police are ever checking corruption. Oh, we will be good. Ghana for any you come after 7 years, I go 8 years. You come, let's say, Joe Bahama, the cry. Hey, the savior, the person that was supposed to save us from the mess of the Mahama, the government that was supposed to save us from the mess of the NDC government, all of a sudden has done worse than the NDC government. The same thing. Let's look at Omuso economy. Supervise the worst currency as at now in Africa. You maybe to say Somalia, they are not running the worst currency in the world. You maybe to say Zimbabwe, Uganda, Burundi. None of these countries have the worst currency in the world, but Ghana do. And then we start asking ourselves, what is it that our leaders are doing that is causing these kind of things? And then we come back and say, oh, we are saying, yes, we are saying, if we are saying, but Cote d'Ivoire doesn't have the worst currency in the world. If we are saying Togo doesn't have worst currency in the world, Burkina Faso doesn't. Why do we have the worst currency in the world as of now? And there was an economic whiskey be an answer over Sanyemem on the tea economy nasi. But for producer for a video no to swab na do video no to swab yet sika so eso komo de yen muntie from na do na anka sa anum yet sika so eso komo de yen
mo bo Ghana yet sika so o ma nya ohia mai
muntie president no
nenam amamu a enkoyie nti no ekom de yen.
Yes. Yet sika so president just that them
nenam amamu a enkoyie nti no ekom de yen.
Yet sika so come here. This is the president of the United States, president of the Republic of Ghana. And ekasano. And I don't know Kufuado. When no jire chire na no to bo park na so. These are some of the things I don't kaka. Yet is so the managers of the economy have taken us into a ditch and they don't know what they are doing. They are focused on their family and friends. And these were some of the things I know more. And Omukofa Dr. Baumia Betre say, ono ne tea economy. Dr. Baumia actually said, ono our Bank of Ghana. And Ghana. And when the right people are in power, they are gonna transform the nation. That's what Dr. Baumia said to us. And every Ghanaian be aware of this situation. Let's not act like we are not aware. Every single Ghanaian knows this. That is what Dr. Baumia told us. Oh, nobody. Fatche what next week? Remember, what me are calling in. This week I didn't prepare for that, but next week I'll give you the chance so you can call in. Make a date with me next week. Why? Bacho, but that's a power. Yes, and then they talked about this thing now. Yeah, bet me a idea way that John Mahama they were born or incompetent. On to be say. Then this president comes in and supervises the worst economy, worst economy in the worst currency in the history of Ghana. In Africa, we have the worst currency. He came here, he imposed the highest taxes in the history of Ghana. Ghana history, when you know there, having be taxes like it is right now. And this is the man that said, economy, no. Yes, this is the man. Economy, no. It takes to make sure, say, he changes the economy. Yes, this is the man. You see, when he was coming to power, you know one thing he said? The president told us, Okache yen Ghana food I say, Adeba kone say, Ghana na woman. One, leadership is everything. And then the leaders don't know how you first manage economy. And because we minim how you manage economy nti sika wo omanimu but sika no it drains out. It will no oba the priority ni nyina na say obe plug all the drainage na e what system ni mu nyina. So we do not rely on taxes because sika wo omanimu it yemfa ne say. So let's do this example. Your Ghana. Obi oye adwuma bia o Ghana bia is utia tax. But apparently no, people are not paying taxes. I didn't think amount for into taxes. How can we make sure say these people pay taxes? How can we make sure say these people pay their taxes? Their fair due. No? How can we make sure say they pay it? It will be plug it. We are gonna have a system where all teachers, government work the crowd, the taxes here intact because they will pay. Private companies, we are going to set up a system where every single private company will pay their taxes. All the bourgeois people will pay their taxes. See, it will plug our system. We don't have to burden just 20% of the people with the taxes of the nation. And when the president was talking about this, it was music to our ears. Like this was music. It was good music. It wasn't just music. It was good music to our ears. Finally, somebody is finding a way. Because I was imagine say, nurse or no juma, so then you obey juma, policeman or juma no, all these people me juma government, Woman assess taxes ni na dey gu omo so because the private guy now no ye ne personal juma ni ni kwa be fa so tax no. It's the ono ya benjuma no only the taxes ni nyina begu. That's not fair. It's like only 20% of the population is paying for the 100%. That's not fair. So when this man was saying say you better plug say acquire ni nyina to make sure say money comes into the system no, everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. Obi NJ say yes. This is the way to go. This was the way to go. Obi NJ. Fast forward. We came into the economy. They are running the government, and then all of a sudden taxes started going up. And then when people start complaining, then you will say, may increase taxes. No, you're gonna make sure say taxes ain't cost be no. Then this president starts saying, say, Debbie, no nation can be run without taxes. Hey, no nation can be run without taxes. Yes, we know no nation can be run without taxes, but we are not going to burden only the 20% of the people. Find creative ways to make sure say all the other people are paying taxes. That's what we've been talking about. That's why we elected you. Say you're not going to burden only the 20% of the working class. We are going to make sure so bio ye jwa wo many be bit me the taxes. Say be are borrowing no, you bit me ateso. Then they say the sikano because you plug all these leakages now. Scan stay economy. No. We don't have to go and borrow. Actually, Baumia said to John Mahama said, borrow FSC die economy. Borrow fire quiet economy. Sa economy no kwade. Nena now uncle school that rabbit me. That's what John Baumia said. Say kobobu si afa be economy die. Obi ani wo ntimi nya saade no ne na nakra wanko school da kra betimi aye kobobo si afa be ebisi dan kobobo si afa betia school fees kobobo si afa betia pay obi ani wo ntimi nya saade no. The man wasn't creative. It's in Ghana was going to it's all but we expected say he was going to do more. Guess what though? Guess what? Oh yemboro boom ombedru omuba ebeye the runners of the nation. Uma borrow more than all the government combined as to from independence. You can't government have been together. Uma bobo sense no. Where did we go wrong as a nation? What actually happened? Let's sit down and start thinking. Let's sit down and think what really happened. It is how we kobasa. Say the people that actually said they were not going to borrow because borrow economy there and you had sign around the economy, and they know say yet sika so sika no waha, the money is here. The people just don't know how to get the money. Na the power amawa. Wa borrow sini obia. Of $1 no almost 4 cedis. It was 3 something, but I mean ran the 4 cedis. At the point be, or the dollar no could do 19. At the point be, or the dollar no could do 19. This was the people that was blaming John Mahama for picking the dollar from 1.5 to 3. These were the people that were blaming John Mahama. It looks like everything that they spoke about John Mahama and in the NDC government in the piano. Oh my, and a triple. We need double, we triple. Everything. It is also the trend that a Mahagana Fujina so editor betia NDC for now. The same trend and we might triple no. The same trend. There's nothing that it's the same playbook. And it's gonna happen in 2024. Arrogance of power. Presidential comfort. At the time, Ghanaians, Yako IMF, your whole 3 years. I just say, Yintimi, higher nipa, we can. The nation was in tatters. It's more my investment, you haircut. That time that the president of the republic felt it was so necessary, it was so important, it was so logical. So we got new private jet because the private jet now team will feel comfortable. If this is not arrogance, if this is not insensitiveness, I don't know how you're gonna call this. Untia obey school fees again. Untia obey school fees. Teachers apamo oba wako school wako pa. Teachers natural say o sera o moa o de omuma oba no embra. O ko pacha ono o ko no she Versace. Is it not an insult to the teachers? And this is what our leaders are doing. We see the same thing that the NDC government did. This government tripled it. Oh, mun jet mami na me jet no me mpe. Yes, me kwa high jet $70,000 an hour. Me dem ya because Ghana president go to kwa okoye dey. Like if you're president of Ghana, to kwa pa dey ade na okoye. Because Ghana, president of Ghana, untimi go United Nations Security Council meeting, untimi go bi. And I untimi go can be wo United Nations floor. En fancy sa obi adwene wo. Your voice is invalid to anybody over there. So, obuko okra kwa koyede. Waste of money. President say me kwa me here jet. Me here. Now me say the last time we counted the president's convoy, it was over 60 cars. Moto nka ho. Over 60. Ediem kwa. When you live in a nation where the people are going to stress, when independent ho chire wo you cannot hire people. Young guys are doing sakawa. Young girls are doing hookup. Like, there's a lot of vices going on in the nation. And then the president is behaving this way. Arrogance. Okay, say, when you question the president, and you may cause what did the echo say? They say me data and data and once and about. This is how the president speaks to us. This is how the president speaks to us. Chiki. Science attitude na John Mahama I didn't call woman. The same thing and we triple. Doom so must stop. For doom so I retoso a kai or mama producer. When these people were demonstrating against the sitting government. Doom so must stop. And they doom so in Asabe. And they doom so in Asabe. Oko count so they be doom see like or the form and so onye no hu ehunu say Charlie, I have messed up and I need to find a way I make it fix it economy no. Same thing. So the situation that we are entering right now, doom so that's our starting on. What is going to happen in Ghana right now? They say investors are going to leave again. Ghana na ankasa na investors no more. Ghana investors na ankasa omwe. Omaya 250,000 graduates NPP every year. It is only 8 to 10% in Yejuma. Investors no way. Yes, ever call Dunsum. Like when you look at our situation as a Ghanaian, it is very, very, very sad. Super sad. Super, super sad. When you look at our situation as Ghanaians, it is super sad. But what can we do? Is this the change of government in the best Sunny Amana? Family and friends, the government. When John Mahama was in power, they keep it in how Mutari Ewa appointing in Yaba into power. Why say? John Mahama they are appointing in Yaba. Ne ba womb, ne wafasifu womb, ne nuamu womb, ne cousins womb. The girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, crowd. This is the man that said, your Mahama government, was doing, you kind of say, family and friends. And they heard it, it is all to war as a, it was, and then your Mahama, no, so why 2.0 or 3.0. It's the same thing. Yes, I don't know the NSS John Mahama, but apart from no, it's the same thing. Papa is what Papa be. It's what you think is going to happen next year. What you think is going to happen in the next year election? That's how as a nation you sit down as a voter and you sit down and assess the situation that we are going in as a people are. The same thing. And why? Just that on no value no it was sort of John Mahama. The same thing. Yanko refusal to fire Ken Ofori-Atta, especially when your own MPs, at least 83 of your own MPs said, no, this is the worst finance minister we've had. He's the reason why the nation is going this way. His policies are not right. Physically, he's not fit. He's sick. We need to replace him with somebody. Is he the only person we will get in the NPP party? That's the only person who finance. It is a Fansene, the finances of the nation. Like the people said, Bibia Pebia see amount, levy the amount. Bibia Pebia see Fama the amount. How come that still we are going through this? You need to be IMF. You are not bringing anything to change the situation. And we have your own MP revolting against you. Your own MPs revolting against you. Yet, that's the same thing that they did. On phobia, on Tubia, the no person, and one obey, or the president of Ghana. He's the guy that has the finance. The person, and one obey. Oyene de cry, and one obey. Ampanso, and one oye. That's the president for you. Young corruption, let me for you NDC. Canada, Japan, ever can't say. They have offered him $800 million. But yes, Ghana IMF are coin in 3 billion. Canada, Japan said they offered him $800 million to step aside. The guy came out and talked about it in national media, on national TV, on national radio. He talked about it. He didn't mind his words. He said they offered him $800 million. Where was this money coming from? And up till now, the government was not able to challenge this. Special prosecutor was not able to call this man to ask how. Where are people able to get $800 million just to stop you from running? At least John Mahama time the Obeka say Vicky Hamakas on the way 1 million or free mono. She was fired. This happened and nobody questions it. And it's like it's a play. Bust bust when people were intentionally. People were intentionally mixing bad oil with good oil so they can sell it to their people. It will bust. All these things came, and up till now, nobody have been prosecuted for this. Ghana lost millions of dollars because of this situation. Up till now, nobody has been prosecuted for it. Cash for seat. It got to a point to be say if there is a function, crowd will be per se or Tanabe president, it will be 2 years. Yes, our presidency was for sale. It is only in this government, and as IDWBC, you have to come pay money to get closer to the president. It imagine say Ubi person. Like, why do we even entertain this kind of behavior? Like, you have to pay somebody just to see the president. Or a business person. It imagine they say tell Celeba Ghana, they want to see the president and they have to pay some of money to be able to see the president. What do you think is gonna happen when they end up starting operations in the nation? You think as a business people, they are not gonna make their money back? You think they are just gonna sit down and say, yeah, we paid all this money to the presidency, but we are gonna sit down and not make our money back? Like, does this even sound right in your ears? This is what Nana Akufo-Addo has put us in. And as a Ghanaian, before you go to the polls, you have to evaluate so many things. This is what, if they have done this, imagine they continuing in the next election. Cecilia Dapa, how on earth? Like, Cecilia Dapa, I don't even think far. How on earth? And then you have Ghanaians, you have party leadership, you have government appointees defending this woman. Just the plight of the people, nobody defends. So it's like, when it comes to the government, when it comes to anything that affects any personality in their party, and not there, Mbabi defend this is here. But nobody's defending that little girl. That girl drowned because Ocha in Suwako school. That little girl drowned. Now nobody defend that little girl. You know, our mothers at Malata Market, Makola, Kanesi, Kejetia, Moru Market. Who defends them? Nobody. Nobody. You have a president that goes around. We had an auditor general who was actually working in the system. At a point in time, it was only that guy that was working. Domevlo was actually working. And you have the president firing him because president, they say, the year I saw the year Juma Pahon, or bro retirement, he don't call retirement. Fired. The man was working. And then we get replaced. Have you even heard about the new replacement? What he's doing? What in the Juma Oye? Have you, as a citizen, heard from the new appointee? You see, the people that was working. Your own special prosecutor accused you to be the mother serpent of corruption. Your own special prosecutor. Wow, special prosecutor, I would buy, I would say, or be system, or be make sure sanity will prevail in our system. Your own is the one accusing you. Because election, 2020 election, Moba and Jose, especially Jose Ken of Furata, and Jose case now, person will be, he shouldn't open it, or me and Twabani. How on earth? So we a leader, let's say, special prosecutor, the same way about you should have fired your guy right away. Because it shows someone as man. So you don't ask man, then you make a decision. But this president on Fahon, and until I'm out for friend clearing agent. It is very, very obvious. Say, and Yema John Mahama, you didn't actually 2 no. Sani Yemano, or mine 3.0, into what's going to happen. You be dinner also at the 2 no. NPP 4 na. The dinner NPP and also the 2 NPP 4. A dear view in the BC. Is John Mahama going to be different? Any different? Is he going to be any different? I don't think so. I think looking at what we are facing, we need somebody outside of these two parties. Say, the tradition will go on. John Mahama beba, no abebeta or record no, Baumia or whoever will come again and act, or also beba, no abebeta this record no, and the normal citizen will be suffering. This is how the nation has turned it into. This is what the nation has turned into. As citizens, what do we have to do? You don't forget it about election, you man crofobia. There, you don't forget about election, you forget about election. You meet to see more room. Are these not gonna be the same people that are gonna create laws for us, impose taxes on us? Are these not gonna be the same people? And if we don't pay them, are they not gonna put us in jail? Like, what do we do? It looks like the regular Ghanaian guy, the regular Ghanaian woman, the regular Ghanaian child doesn't have any option. Only option be so I feel like the only option that Ghanaians have is to join this system and create loot and share. Is there a way out? Can we figure a way out? Is there a way a bit me assess this mentality? Change these people from what they are doing? Or is there a way voting people out, voting politicians out, would that solve the problem? I think we've done it from 1992, which is over 30 years now, and they still haven't solved anything. What is the way forward? What is the way forward? This is the question I'm going to leave for you today with. What is the way forward? What is the way that we have to operate as a people? What's the right way? What is the best way? How can we reform and transform our nation? Everybody knows industrialization is the way. How are we going to be able to make industrialization a hub in Ghana where the youth will get jobs to do? How do we do that? We'll talk about that next week. There will be asked to Oje Brenna or the TMA. And then Oman Juma. Me pacha so person will join Oman Juma show no as a panelist. Ubetimi boss and social media and also ubetimi attest it. WhatsApp on 220-4650822. 220-4650822. We need panelists. You better discuss it. What is going on in the nation? It will be asset. Makramo. Bye bye.